a bunch of crazy stories written by the Brothers Grimm. And now you're gonna learn all about them, listening to the Brothers Grimm.
Students and scholars, friends and relations, welcome to the Brothers Dim podcast, a podcast in which myself and Mike wander through the sometimes meandering tales, which were collected and curated by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm, the early 1800s, including this week's tale, a first edition story published in 1812, story number 81, Brother Lustig. My name is Phil.
And my name is Mike.
Mike, how are you now?
Doing okay. It's been an interesting day. How about yourself?
I am good and always happy, I say, when the Brothers Grimm decide to grace us with their ideas about what heaven means to them and also where it is located.
This goddamn story.
For our listeners at home, if this is your first time listening to the Brothers Dim podcast, usually both heaven and hell are in Germany somewhere, and usually just a couple towns over from
pretty much
wherever the story's taking place. Do you have a grade?
I went D+. I did not like this one.
Okay, yeah.
What about you?
I was gonna agree with whatever you said. I went from a D
Just a blank slate.
Yeah, like occasionally a B as I was reading, but then I'd go back to D. I'd be like, maybe they were going here, but no.
Yeah, I threw the plus on there because it was vaguely entertaining given how long it is.
Yeah,
but it just did not like what they did with it.
I mean, and I saw there were some places to make some changes, but mostly the issue is that it's just a long, convoluted mess. There's anywhere between like 6 and 12 stories in this of uneven size, all of them who have, though, unfortunately, characters that I don't particularly like. But
yeah, pretty much.
Let's see what we have. So, Mike, without further ado, and if you don't mind, I will take us through the plot of Grimm, story number 81, Brother Lustig.
Please do.
I'm going to take us through the plot, and we're going to do it in chapters. Very short chapters, but we're gonna split this up because it was a long one, folks.
Yeah, it was. I like this though.
Chapter 1. Lustig gets discharged from the army. For his trouble, he gets a loaf of bread and $4. So he's sad. He's wandering around. He meets St. Peter, disguised as a beggar. St. Peter asks him for change. Lustig gives him some bread and a dollar. Then Peter does this 2 more times. Just runs up the road and asks him for money again. Lustig keeps giving him money. Finally, Lustig has $1 left. Stays at an inn, orders himself a couple of beers. That's all of his money gone. So St. Peter sees him after this, again says, hey, spare change. But Lustig is now broke, but he says, no worries, let's go begging together, though. Now we're into chapter 2. Peter and Lustig, they go a-wandering. They come across a sick person who St. Peter heals. The family of this guy is delighted. They give Lustig and St. Peter a lamb. And St. Peter, at first, he says no. But Lustig is like, dude, we need to eat, or at least I need to eat, because he doesn't know quite yet. He's like, I know you're an angel, but we need food. So they take the lamb. That night they start cooking. St. Peter says, okay, I'm stepping out. Don't start without me. But Lustig is hungry, so he eats the heart of the lamb.
Cook the whole thing, but don't start without me.
I'm going to go, but yeah, do not eat any of this without me, even though I didn't want this lamb in the first place. Pete comes back. He's like, okay, where's the heart? Lustig says, well, lambs don't have hearts. Peter says, okay, sure. So next morning, they try crossing a river. St. Peter causes Lustig to almost drown, causes the river to go up like in some magic spell. He's like, and St. Peter's like, just admit you ate the heart. And Lustig says, never. Waters keep rising. He refuses to give in, though. So finally, St. Peter says, oh, okay, fine. The waters receive, and they go on their way. Chapter 3. 2 are traveling. They hear about a dead princess. St. Peter rolls in and says, I can cure that. And the king says, okay, have at it. So St. Peter just raises the girl from the dead by doing a little ceremony and saying a couple magic words. They get paid in gold. St. Peter splits it 3 ways, 1 for each of them, and an extra share if Lustig will just admit to eating the heart from chapter 2, which Lustig does.
It's for whoever ate the heart.
And Lustig is like, oh, yeah, fine. All right, Jesus Christ. You happy now? You embarrassed me. They part ways. Chapter 4. Lustig comes across another kingdom where a princess has also died. Lustig goes and tries to raise the dead with the magic spell, but no dice. Peter comes back and says, okay, I'll raise her from the dead, but don't take any payment, okay? Lustig goes to the people and he says, okay, like I won't take any payment, but it would be great if I happen to find a bunch of gold in my bag when I leave.
Wink, wink.
I'm not asking for anything, but if that was there, that'd be great. And then the princess will be alive. So the king's folks, they get the hint. St. Peter is mad, but he says, look, okay, whatever. Don't do that again. Uh, stop asking for gold if you bring people back from the dead. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a magic knapsack. Whatever you wish for will just appear in it. And Lustig says, great. And so off they go. At one point, wishing some cooked geese into his backpack, which some other guys get blamed for.
I love that part.
And beaten for their trouble. And the reason why is because he's like, well, I'd love to have some cooked geese. But it's not like it just makes the cooked geese. There was some cooked geese nearby.
Well, he did specifically wish for those 2 cooked geese to appear in his backpack.
Oh, was it those? Okay.
Yeah, like the ones in the oven at the tavern.
I thought,
Which was,
yeah, I thought he said like this. Well, like those ones, and
I don't know how monkey paw it is.
yeah, exactly. I felt it was a little monkey's paw.
No, I think he wished for those geese specifically.
And I hope the cooks get beaten, which they did. So he wins out. Chapter 5. Lustig's magic backpack in hand heads over to a new kingdom, and in that kingdom, there's a haunted castle and a reward if you can catch the ghosts. So Lustig goes up, devils appear, but he wishes them into his knapsack. So the castle isn't haunted anymore, and he and a few others beat the hell out of the backpack, killing all 8 of the devils except for one who escapes and runs back to hell. And now we're in chapter 6 of the last chapter. So finally Lustig he's getting older. He decides I should die soon.
As one does.
And since going to hell, I already know the way. Because I saw that devil running down it. And it also, the path looks pretty easy. And the one to heaven looks difficult. I'm going to pick the easy path. I'm going to go to hell. But the guy at the gate is the devil from chapter 5. And he's terrified of Lustig. He's like, oh shit, it's the guy with the backpack. Don't let him in. Shut the door. Lock the door. Lock the door. Just pretend we're not here. So they don't let him in. Lustig then just wanders over to heaven's gate. And St. Peter's like, you again? No, you can't come in. And Lustig says, okay, well, here's my backpack. And slips it through the gate. And St. Peter says, oh, thank you. And then Lustig wishes himself into the knapsack. And, and then he's just in heaven. And St. Peter goes, touche. The end.
So now I'm second guessing my D plus because we did laugh through that whole thing. Maybe it was just your retelling.
I think it was my retelling.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, with a couple changes, it's
my first note here is this story is bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh boy, where to begin?
I don't even know. Like, yeah, I guess right off the bat, we have an apostle. That's always fun.
Ta-da!
St. Peter and their weird ass Grimm idea about Christianity.
Don't they have better things to do?
I think that they gotta like, you guys want to read the Bible? It's like, I get the vibe, I think.
Here, let me go try it out.
I already know religion. I know all these northern religious stories. So it's just different guys, right? And it's Jesus, he's like a sun deity or something. I don't know. They're like, not exactly. He's like, well, whatever. St. Peter's kind of a dick. He sees a down on his luck veteran. Like a veteran with very, very little money. And yep. he's like, I can scam this guy. And then Lustig
multiple times.
Lustig, to his credit, keeps sharing what little he has with this guy, not knowing that he's St. Peter either.
Yeah.
Poor Lustig at this point, he meets this guy. He says, all right, you know what? You clearly have some skills. How about, like, first you're a good beggar, let's go begging. And secondly, then it's like, oh, what are you, a doctor? Well, we can make a living off of that. And St. Peter's just like, well, how dare you?
No, we refuse to take money for this.
Taking money for pay, that's a sucker's game. It's for pussies. It's just like, well, we gotta eat, man. Like, it's like you're good at this. Like, we don't even have to charge them much. Like, we're like dinner for the first one. Dinner. You need to eat. You need to buy food to do that. We need to buy a house at some point. Or what are we doing? Just sleeping on the street? But people are willing to pay, and they want to pay.
Nobody needed a house back then.
Yeah, it's not a patent medicine situation. It's not a scam.
Right.
St. Peter's actually bringing people back from the dead.
Yes.
People want that.
Yeah.
And they're not, well, I'll charge you your whole kingdom. No, it's just like, okay, dinner.
Yeah. A lamb is fine. More than enough.
I need gas money and money for tolls and and a sandwich. And you put the sandwich, I'll take the sandwich to go. And then there's the whole lamb thing. He says, all right, listen, I'll be back. Don't start eating without me.
But cook the whole thing.
It's like a test. He doesn't explain that it's a test.
Yep.
He doesn't even say he's like, I'll know. Like he doesn't say like I would like to eat the heart. So that's the only thing I want to eat. So
Yeah, it's not even like the marshmallow test.
no, it's not. He's just like, yeah, just don't start eating. And Lustig is okay. You know what? I'm just gonna eat the heart. Looks good. I don't know. Is heart meat good? I don't even.
I think then it was probably it was prized.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never know if it is it just like, is it good eaten, or is he like, I'm gonna get it's rich and tasty courage.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a thing. Like I mean like chicken hearts are very common in churrascaria, like in
Okay.
Brazilian steakhouses.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah. So now the quite hungry veteran, the one who's doing all of the work to cook this food for both of them, Peter's like, no, don't eat until I get back. Let's just eat some.
Yeah, and then he's embarrassed about it, so he lies.
Yeah, he lies.
Yeah,
He's
like,
and St. Peter's still disguised at that point. So, like, why shouldn't Lustig just start eating? The gaslighting from Lustig was not needed. I would have just said, "Oh, I started without you, bro. I'm sorry, not sorry." Like, I was here the whole time. And then, yeah, St. Peter purposefully keeps trying to embarrass him. Just admit that you did this, right? It reminds me, Mike G did that to me once. I don't know why I was thinking of. I was thinking about this when I did the story. Like, who for our listeners is our just this friend we talk about a bunch when we were young.
Tales of Teenage Dirtbaggery.
One time when it was me and Tyler and Mike G all lived together, a check bounced or something, and then so I wrote the next check, but then they said, okay, but you still owe us an extra $100 for. All right, what can
overdraft?
Well, no, the rental company wanted the extra $100, which
extortion.
Something, but whatever. Like, so I was like, oh, okay, can I just pay you back next month? Like, and can I just put in my next month's rent? And they were like, fine. I saved up the money, and I just had the extra $100. Now, this is of course back when rent was, I don't know how much we were paying, $300 a month or something for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike G was like, oh, I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring over the check. I didn't tell Tyler and Mike G that this happened because I was a little embarrassed by it. But Mike G and Tyler knew, and Mike G had this whole plan to try and make me admit that I had bounced a check, and I was just, like, I was like, oh, I'm going to take the check over. He's like, oh, I'll take your check over. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine doing it. He's like, well, maybe we should go together. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, are you, okay. You clearly know, Mike G, like, is this.
Not all of us had a lot to do in those days.
Yeah. Are you thrilled that you have caught me? And like, what, like, yes, there is extra money in this check. Congratulations. I think we were all getting mighty sick of each other. I was doing very poorly at the time too. Mike G was, at least he was in school. He was doing very well in school. Tyler was.
Yeah, he was making bank.
I was working at Radio Shack and broke as shit.
I was in school.
Yeah.
Not working.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I was working. I don't know.
Either, well, you Taco Bell or it's just a side gig, but you were in school. That was the point. Like, if I was in school, if I hadn't failed out of school. All right, back to the story though. Okay, so Heaven and Hell, they make an appearance, which is always fun in Grimm. Mostly just the gates.
And literal, the guy who points out the path to heaven and hell, he's like, yeah, no, see, like that wide, easy, gentle path, that's the path to hell.
Yeah.
This uphill, rocky one, it's narrow, that's the path to heaven.
It's like, I got my backpack, I'll go to hell. I don't care.
He's like,
I fought these guys before. They were nothing. Fun little bit at the gates of hell, I thought, with the last devil looking through a peephole. Like so much Jabba's palace.
Shit.
He's like, oh no. Oh shit, it's Oma. And I love that he was smart and he was correct. He said, I don't know how the hell this dumb backpack of his works, but 9 of us got sucked in there. I do not see a reason why they couldn't suck us all up in there. And he beat the shit out of us. And I'm the only one who lived. So I think it's better if we just keep the door shut.
Yeah.
And just say that no one's home and he'll wander away. Because he ain't even dead yet. It's the thing about Lustig right now. He's getting older.
Yeah, no, he just kind of pulled a Yoda. He's just like, I'm done. I'm tired. Let's go somewhere.
Turn into blankets. Heaven, we only see the gates, but I do like it. That's when Lustig gets the St. Peter reveal.
Yeah.
Although even then, Lustig is, I think, just thinking, he's like, oh, hey, you.
Yeah, it's my old soldier buddy.
You're the guy that took all my money and then gave me that backpack. Like, what's up, dude? How'd you get into heaven? Who the fuck let you in here? St. Peter's just like, dude, I'm not letting you in, bro. It's like, well, come on. Like, I tried to go to hell. I really did. They won't let me in. What am I supposed to do?
Where am I supposed to go?
I mean, we don't get to see Limbo, but it's like, well, I don't want to go to Limbo. Yeah. Also, not that it's particularly difficult to come back to life in this world that they made in this universe, but I guess St. Peter's done. with all that. And then also maybe I think vampires, if you become a vampire, let me ask you this. If you become a vampire at age 80, do you get young again, or are you always 80? Are you 80 for the rest of your life?
I think it depends on your lore, but I think on
Okay.
average you probably stayed whatever age you were when you vamped.
Okay. So like if you want to be a hot vampire,
Oh yeah, you got to
Like,
go in your
you,
late
you have
teens,
to
early
get hot
20s.
first.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my understanding of it.
Forever young.
Or forever old, depending.
Back to the story. This is not our first. I have another note, by the way.
Mhm.
This is not our first story where the Brothers Grimm just do a veteran dirty.
Yeah.
Six Men Who Made Their Way in the World kind of had that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And also it was another one of their longer tales. And kind of had like,
Oh
again,
yeah.
not exactly the Odyssey, but
Yeah, it
Like-
was just like it was multiple small adventures to collect the whole motley crew, and then
Yeah.
they get into a situation where they each need their powers to resolve a situation in succession, something like that.
which at least with Six Men, it was like let's get a band together. Let's get a band of superheroes together.
Yeah.
And so it was like the leading, it's like all the MCU leading up to the Avengers.
Right.
Where they're like, oh, they meet all these cool, whereas this is just, it's just St. Peter fucking with a veteran for a little while. Here's some trials, but hardly trials of any epic godlike variety. Trials nonetheless of just like, well, I'm hungry.
We could do a little work to get some food.
Yeah, let's get a job. No, I don't want to do that.
Hear me out here, but not take any payment.
They,
I don't need to eat, do you?
But when we do eat, I'm going to insist you not eat until I get back.
And then only want the one piece that you'd eat.
What this reminds me of too is a little bit. Remember we were pitching? I guess in the last season there was like in the 70s there was a bunch of stories about foxes all in a row, and we were like, what if it was the same fox and wolf?
Oh yeah. I thought you
And-
meant like the 1970s, and I was like, Robin Hood?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Grimm story number 70s which we did a little
Yes.
while ago, and then where like my pitch was like, what if we just link all these stories together? And that's what this feels
Yeah.
like. There was just like, oh, it's Lustig. It's
Yeah.
another Lustig story. Okay.
And then, yeah, there's so
Like-
many themes or tropes. There's like the lamb's heart trick. I feel like we've seen that somewhere else too, where like there's 3 piles, and the third pile, if you want it, you have to admit to whatever wrongdoing you did. There's like the resurrection via grotesque means, which I have a note about in a minute. Heaven versus hell, and like the actual personification of those and what they look like. Being refused from hell. Each of these is their own like little story. And so, yeah, like just like you did, like you split it up into chapters, tricking your way into heaven, the magic sack. But yeah, to jump back a minute,
okay.
I stifled a laugh early on when you're talking about St. Peter bringing the princess back to life. He performs, quote, a little ceremony and some magic words. He buried the lead. He chops the girl up into pieces and puts her in a kettle full of boiling water, boils all the flesh off the bones, and then reassembles the skeleton very meticulously, and then she comes back to life.
Yeah. And then Lustig screws it up.
Yeah, because he
It's like-
can't put the bones
like, all
back
right.
in order.
Yeah, I can save your princess. He's like, all right, let me just don't come in for a little while, no matter what you hear.
The ankle bone connects to the wristwatch or something like that. The arm bone connects to my wristwatch. Uh-oh.
All right. Heaven as a reward. We've seen that a bunch of times.
Yep.
That gives me some hope too, by the way, a little bit. I was thinking about this, is that I think I could outwit this version of St. Peter.
You just
I think
need a
if-
magic knapsack.
I think, just give him a quick, lookest thou that way, and just hop the fence. And then once he was in, he's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it now.
Right. It's like, oh no. Well, by house rules, you get to stay.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
And through the transitive property, you led a good life.
It is like it's a very weird mix of religion and voodoo magic.
Oh yeah.
Like I came across there was one person talking about this. Would a messenger of heaven and like a disciple of Christ, would he really give a mortal who has proven himself to be fallible, really give him a bag that can materialize anything that the owner wants? Like, why did he give it to a greedy guy? Or at least a guy that he has tricked into greed multiple times, and not even greed.
Yeah.
And like,
So-
like, did Christ ever chop anybody's body up and boil the flesh off and then reassemble the bones to resurrect them? No, he's just like,
No,
arise,
that's-
my child.
That seems real.
St. Peter's
that
like,
seems
check this out. I saw this once.
Yeah.
And then of course Lustig does it too.
Yeah, that seems like a real northern situation.
Yeah,
With-
a little
with-
bit of
with-
black metal there.
Not
Well,
a big cultural footprint either for a named character. I always find it weird when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, it might
Like,
just
so-
be because it's mostly about a saint repeatedly trying to trick a guy into
Yeah, and
turning into a paragon of greed.
so all
Ugh.
hat and no cattle, like a grim version of Avatar is what I think this is.
Hmm.
Mike,
Yes,
do you have
don't
a
either.
pitch?
I do.
Well, I would love to hear it.
It's a little out there.
Okay.
Period piece.
Our hero, an
Okay.
honorable and decorated soldier, is
Yep.
reunited with his wife and in childhood love. Not long after that, they're out celebrating at the local tavern. His wife is targeted and assaulted by a group of drunken ruffians.
Okay.
The soldier, in defending her, is taunted and beaten on the ground until his combat instincts take over and he responds, not really intending, but he kills a man, grievously injures another one.
Okay.
He's put on trial in the town square.
Can I ask
Now,
a
only to
question?
find out she's with child. Is this Con Air? Damn it.
All right, we can.
I was like, I'm
Oh.
going to see how far I can get.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yep. So he's once again separated from his love, now only to find out she's with child. The daughter will spend her first several years without her father as he finishes out his sentence.
Okay.
So he's sent from Germany to the wastelands of Siberia to serve a sentence of hard labor. There he's tempted with drugs, with drink, and violence. In such a godforsaken place, he's tempted to abandon all hope, give in, lose who he once proudly was, but he resists. He remains pure of heart. After 8 long years, the cruel warden in Siberia receives word that the soldier's been pardoned by the governor of his former land, and he's to be sent home. However, being far off in Siberia, he has no choice but to hitch a ride on a wagon train of some of the most dangerous prisoners of all, who are being shipped back seaside to catch a ship to a new and more hardened penal colony, this big island in the southern hemisphere that's been taken by the British.
Okay.
The worst of the worst overpowers the guards, take them prisoner, take control of the wagon train. They plan to ride on into civilization dressed as the guards, locate the ship to this new penal colony, hijack that, take it to a pirate's paradise of no rules and no law. He acts as one of them to stay alive. Climax comes at the port. The criminals have cruelly decide they're going to take the captive guards as playthings on their voyage, and this is his last chance to reveal himself and save them, or to find himself damned on this long voyage to a den of inequity.
Okay.
Our soldier, realizing it's his daughter's birthday, decides he's got to do the right thing. He overpowers the leader of the gang of criminals, frees the guards, saves the day, limps home to his family, thankful to be free from this nightmare and past this time of temptation beyond all others to evil.
Okay. Yeah.
I started thinking about it, and I just started picturing Cameron Poe.
No, I got to tell you, first of all, I am all for Con Air in the 17th century or earlier or something like that. I don't know if you need to keep the guards alive, actually. I don't like, I wonder if
Yeah.
you could get some mileage about just him trying to, or becoming a pirate. I don't know. There's,
Yeah,
I know you want to keep him pure is the idea.
I almost sent it down a path of he loses who he was and gives into the temptation.
Because he needs a job.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize for cutting in and immediately knowing that you were
No.
talking about Con Air, although I am a little proud of myself.
No, it's all good. I was talking to my kids ahead of time and my wife, and they're like, that's interesting. I was like, hon, do you recognize it? She's like, no. And I was like, it's Con Air. She's like, oh my God. And I was like, my plan is I'm going to read it and see how far I can get before Phil recognizes it.
I got it very early. Yeah. Good frivolity that. Well, I have nothing else.
Same.
Okay. Well, so if you don't have anything else and I don't have anything else, I think we can call it on Grimm, story number 81, Brother Lustig. Till the next time in the next tale, may you dream sweet dreams of today's sponsor, gaslighting members of the clergy. And of course, tricks, not just for kids, but for apostles and veterans alike, tricks. Sleep tight, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. The Brothers Dim podcast is written by the Brothers Dim. Recording engineering is done by Mike, and sound editing and mastering by Phil. Brothers Dim podcasts are copyrighted by the Brothers Dim and available at brothersdim.com, on Blue Sky at Brothers Dim, and wherever you get your podcasts.